Oh shoot, I threw some pins in there. Okay, where are they? Lousy good for nothing piece of peace. Roaming reporter Ray Cotolo here. No, not Roman reporter. Roaming. I am traveling the world to get down to the truth and to the gritty nitty. So come with me, shall you? And join me on a splendiferous journey around the globe to figure out what the hell am I talking about? Come on! Alright, I am live from the shores of Jamaica, joined here by James Yoder. Right off the bat, what's the D stand for, man? Come on, you're holding out on
Dale.
us. Dale.
Dale. Yeah. James Dale.
James Dale Yoder.
Yoder. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about adding any other letters to the name? Maybe like a
No, I haven't.
Like a Carlson or a Eric.
No, just James Dale.
All right. Well, so tell me a bit about your history, because we at Nahu Picks have been following you for a little bit of a time, because a lot of people might not know this, but one of the places you got your start was at Running Aces, and now now you're
started Running Aces, ventured off to Hoosier for a few years, and went back to Running Aces, and now we're just at Hoosier.
Now, what exactly made you decide that little track in Minnesota was the right place to get your bearings?
Well, I didn't really have that good a quality stock to race at Hoosier Park at the time, so we decided to venture off, and our horses looked like they fit a little bit better at Running Aces, so we decided to take a shot and go to Running Aces. And it actually kind of worked out, because that's where we ran into Brett Boyd. And then he kind of got us hooked up to a couple of horses at Hoosier and ventured away to Hoosier.
And a lot of people might not know this either. You've only had your stable in operation for about 5 years?
Yep, about 5 years. I've owned horses and had horses with my dad for quite a while, but...
Quite a while? How old are you, man?
25.
Only 25, and you're already at quite a while.
26. Just turned 26.
Oh, yeah, your birthday was what, like 2 days ago?
Yeah, Sunday.
Oh, what'd you do for your birthday?
We didn't really do much of anything. Went to the coast.
Oh, the Jersey coast.
Yep.
Smells, right?
Yep. like water, beach water.
Among other things. You don't have to get into it. That's just for us New York types to kind of relish in. So you guys have just been staying in Jersey then for the last week or two?
Yeah, we've just been staying here. We haven't gone out of state. The whole COVID thing kind of is shutting everything down to where we can't move. So we're just staying in New Jersey.
Would you otherwise have brought Maybaby back to your stable in Indiana and then shipped back out?
No, if I don't like shipping that much. And this is her only race this year where she would have to ship. So we decided just to come out here and stay for the 10 days and then head back.
And tell me a bit about her, because it's not often that you have a horse that you only pay like $8,500 for,
mm-hmm.
and she can trot better than some of the $200,000 horses.
Yeah, you don't get that too often. But we were lucky enough to get her for the price we did, and she's exceeded our expectations by tenfold.
Really? So you didn't even expect her to be as good as she was?
Well, I mean, when you buy an $8,500 yearling, you don't really expect a whole lot out of them. You don't expect to go into the Hambletonian Oaks with her.
Mm-hmm.
But she's come a long ways, so she's good too.
Well, what is it about her? Because I know a lot of people talk about like gumption and grit in horses. What is it about her that has really stood out to you as her champion quality?
She loves her job. I mean, she's not very big. And for her to do what she does, being as small as she is, just says a lot about her heart. And she doesn't, even to race, she doesn't need a boot to race. She doesn't hit anywhere. So that's one of her qualities. She doesn't hit.
That's definitely kind of unique to hear, too, because you also give her a lot of air. You have put her in weird situations, and she's dug in.
Yeah, she's dug in and held her own with those group.
So. Post 4 in that Oaks final, you draw right outside of your dad. I imagine that Yoder v. Yoder might not necessarily park one another, or will they?
I don't know. You never know. But I don't know. We help each other out as much as we can. But once it comes race time, it's game. So you might see him park me out or shut me out of a hole, but you never know.
Yeah, I happened to catch that interview you did with Ryan Macedonio, where you were kind of talking all the trash talk on your dad. But as for Macedonio,
he was the one talking the trash.
Well, let's get to him. What are your impressions of that fine man, Mr. Macedonio?
Oh, he's quite the fella.
Quite the fella, really. Like the kind that if you and Cheyenne, like 10 years from now, big happy family, presumably. I imagine you guys would have a big happy family. Have a picnic. Would you think, let's invite Mr. Macedonio to our picnic?
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, he's entertainment.
Oh, okay. So you pay him like $20 under the counter and then tell him to...
No, my God. No, not quite. He knows how to do a good interview, though.
All right, Ryan. Well, you win this round, man.
Yeah.
Outside of May Baby, though, I know you could probably talk ad nauseum about how proud you are of her, because you're 25, one of the youngest people to ever be going into the Hambletonian Oaks, which that's something that I imagine you have a fairly easy time keeping your head fairly leveled about that. Because sure, it's a $600,000 race, but I mean, you seem like a pretty modest 25-year-old, not really letting it kind of cloud your judgment.
Not really. I mean, in 10 years from now, I'll think back to the moment and be like, oh wow, like, to get a horse that quality in the Oaks, it's hard to do. But right now we're just living in the dream.
You're saying that like you're never gonna be here ever again. Yeah. I mean, you never know.
You never know. I mean, you never know. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're hoping we can be back here, but for right now, we're just enjoying it.
And you and your dad have really blown onto the scene quite quickly over the last couple of years. Your dad in particular had Natural Herbie, Woodside Charm. What and now the fact that you're here too just makes me wonder, what is it about training that, like, what was the best lesson you got either like when you were running Aces or working with your dad and such that has really helped you get to this point in your career?
Just knowing that it takes a lot of work to get a horse to the races and maintain them, and it's not easy. I mean, it has to be a work program. So we train a little bit harder and faster than what most other people do, but if they can hold up and withstand it, usually pans out for the best. And
you have one other drive on Hambo Day, right? You're driving one for your dad and
yep, driving one for my dad, compelling.
Can you tell us a bit about that one?
She's a big grinder. She doesn't really have a huge sprint to her, but she can take a lot of air and keep on grinding and coming. She usually has a better last quarter than the rest of the mile. Last quarter, she usually gets on pretty good.
And now back to the Oaks. Final thing that I wonder about, because you and I kind of talked about this earlier in the week. It's a 12-horse race. You got a horse that can take air, can handle a bad situation or such. I understand you don't really know what's going to happen until the gate opens, and you might not even have a game plan right now, but you're in post 4, you're outside of the second tier, you're right up there.
Yeah.
I have to imagine the first MO is try and get up towards the front, try and avoid all the traffic.
I mean, the main goal is just to, make sure her gate's right and, make sure that I'm not overexerting her the first quarter of a mile, but, she's going to have to be a little closer to the front just because there is a 12-horse race. You can't really duck back and, expect to be there right at the end of the race just because there's going to be a lot of traffic. Hopefully we'll be a little closer to the front.
At the same time, though, you aren't afraid to have to take her back because, I mean, you have to make that call at the gate, and it's a really tough call.
Make that call that's a gate call. I mean, you have to make that decision as soon as the gate pulls. If there's, 7 others that are leaving hard, you kind of have to make the decision to pull back a little bit.
So let's say coming around that final turn, you're sitting maybe like third, fourth over, about 6-7 lengths off the lead. With how you know her now, because she could be fantastic on that day and show you something she's never shown you before. If you're in that position where you have to come from off the pace, you kind of sweating, you kind of concerned at all?
Not really, just because I know she's going to give everything that she has. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just what she does. I mean, she has very few bad days, but I mean, when it comes race time, she's usually ready to go. So hopefully she'll give us all she's got, and hopefully we can hit the board, get a check.
I mean, that's gonna be a really big check too. One of the biggest you've ever gotten.
I'd be happy with fifth.
Fifth, yeah, that'll get you like what, $30,000?
Yeah, fifth would be about $30,000. So I'd be really happy with that.
Now, JD Yoder, $30,000 richer. Does he have a blazer? Does he have a?
No, that goes to the wife.
Okay.
She might have a new blazer if that happens.
A $30,000 blazer. Be made out of the wool of a king sheep.
Yeah.
Up in the great Scottish Highlands. Well, JD, James Dale. Do I have the honor of calling you that, or JD?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can call me whatever you want. James Dale, JD.
I want to be respectful. I'll call you whatever I want, but I want to be respectful. James, it's always a pleasure. It's great to see a guy like you have a chance in a race like this, and like I said to you earlier in the week, just don't be first over, man.
Yeah. If it works out that way, it is what it is. But hopefully we can trip her out a little bit, or maybe we'll happen to get to the front, or who knows? It's a horse race.
Just be sure you beat Verlin.
Yeah, right. We'll try. But if he happens to get on the board, I'm just happy for him.
And Macedonia, by the way, is only worth like $15 for entertainment. The man is dirt cheap. Don't overprice him.
Don't overprice him.
Don't overprice him. He'll get a big head, and then he won't perform as good of a job.
Oh my gosh.
JD, thank you for taking the time. Good luck on Saturday, and have a good day. Have a fun time.
We are.
All right, you take care, man.
Yep, you too.